Good afternoon, everyone. If that's your time zone, if not, good morning, depending on where you're located. We appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Just a reminder, please stay on mute during this. If you do have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. We will address them as they come up. Also, as we said, this is going to be recorded, so we will be sending out a recording of the meeting after. I think with that, yeah, we're going to be looking at today AEO versus SEO, how to optimize search and engagement. So, yeah, if you want to go to the next slide, Karthik. So my name's
Just wanted to make sure that everyone able to see the presentation, right? So if you could just put a thumbs up, okay, sounds good. Yeah, let's get started, Shawn. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So my name's Shawn. I'm an SEO strategist here with DrupalPartners, and Karthik is the CTO. Together, we have a combined 25 plus years of industry experience. I'm going to do things a little different today, so I want to start with a little trivia question. Unfortunately, no prizes, but just for bragging rights here. So, does anyone know what was the first TV or movie to use the term Google as a verb? If you could put that in the in the chat. Do you have any guesses? The first TV show or movie to use Google as a verb? Do you see any answers? I don't see any answers coming in yet. Karthik, do you want to offer a guess?
No.
It was actually, fun fact, it wasn't You've Got Mail. You've Got Mail predated Google, if I remember correctly. I think that was like mid 90s or early 90s. It was actually, but good guess. It was Buffy the Vampire Slayer back in 2002. It's the first American TV show to actually have Google as a verb on it.
I
And I
think
bring that.
someone has got told the correct answer there on the chat. Yeah.
Oh, who is that? Jay? Awesome job. Love a Buffy fan. Okay, let's go to the next slide, Karthik. And I asked that because we want to get you in the idea of thinking about like AEO and SEO and what that means. So with today, what we're going to look at is we're going to introduce you to what is AEO, discuss why the shift to AEO matters in 2025, how AEO optimization search visibility and user engagement. So how to tweak that to maximize your engagement. We're going to look at Drupal, the specific optimization strategies with live examples, how to measure AEO success. Then we're going to look at some customer success stories, show you an actionable roadmap, go over some key takeaways, have a Q&A session at the end, and then review how to get started.
Right.
Okay, so before we dive into the presentation, if you could click back one slide. Thank you. Before we get into it, I just want you to think about your search experience. For myself, being a little bit older, like I remember when Google first rolled out, but even before Google, if we have anyone else that's attending, old searches like Yahoo, Netscape. Think of your initial search experiences before Google. Then think of maybe about what your experience was like with Google 10 years ago. And then think about your interactions with Google or search engines today. So keep that in mind, how the idea of searching has evolved as the internet and technology has evolved. Okay, Karthik, let's look at the next slide. So first, let's look at what is SEO. So we know SEO is the process of optimizing content to rank higher on search engine result pages. And I'm sure most people in attendance here, you know the tips and tricks to maximize your SEO. You want the on-page SEO, you have your technical SEO, and the off-page SEO. So the goals around SEO, it's increasing the organic traffic, your visibility, and your brand authority. Some examples of this are optimizing your meta tags, improving page speed, and building backlinks. So all of that is going to move you up in these search results. And now let's take a dive into what is AEO. So AEO is different than SEO. It's optimization for answer engine optimization. which AEO, it focuses on delivering direct, precise answers to AI-driven search queries. How does it work? So it leverages structured data, it features snippets, and voice search optimization. And then the goals are a little bit different. So the goals of AEO are to secure positions in voice search results, answer boxes, and AI-generated responses. Okay, and now, like when I said the beginning of the other section, think about how you're searching. So think about the old days of Netscape and early Google. You could only use limited search terms, and there were certain ways that you wanted to include search results, exclude search results. It wasn't utilizing natural language. As AI started to progress, then you go into natural language searches, and it leads us to even where we are today, where now you have AI assistants doing voice searches and showing results. So it's a natural progression. So as I said, from keywords to questions, also the rise of voice assistants. Also, it's a zero patient zone. So I'm sorry, I'm stuttering today. Users expect search engines to predict intent and not just deliver results. So that AI feature, they're looking to understand what the question is, the motivation behind the question, and show the appropriate results. And also, it's a mobile first mindset. So the searches are happening on the go, which means the results need to be clear, concise, and fast. And even one interesting thing with AEO is sometimes it's not even resulting in clicks. So let's go to that next slide. So as a result in the change of these searching behaviors and the changes in technology, 58% of users use voice search to find local business info. Think about how you're utilizing your AI assistants. 70% of Google queries are now long tail, which means it's longer forms. It's not that short, concise data. It's longer, more natural text answers. 50% of Google searches end in zero-click results. So you ask that question, your AI assistant reads out the results, and usually the user bounces along their way. They get the information they need, and they go on. 65% of voice searches are conversational too. So when we're acting with this technology, we're not just giving command. We're speaking to it like we speak to another person. And then there's different ways to optimize your AEO for different engines. So for Google, what you want to look at is you want to look at your featured snippets, what people ask, the SGE, the search generative experience. Within ChatGPT is looking to ingest public data and plugin integrations. In Bard, the Google AI, it's looking for plugins from Google's Knowledge Graph. Microsoft Copilot, that's looking at the Bing chat and AI answers. And then you have your AI assistants, Alexa, Siri, Google. Those are using voice search interfaces. And then with Perplexity AI, U.com, that's looking for AI-driven answer engines, which is on the rise. And for your social media like LinkedIn, Reddit, Quora, it's index Q&A platforms and used by AI to fetch context. Okay, and now I'm going to hand it over to Karthik. So he's going to go a little more in depth into those differences and then how that relates to Drupal and can be optimized for the best results in the Drupal platform.
Thank you, Shawn. Hope everyone are able to hear me. So I'll start from here. As Shawn told, I'm one of the solution architects as well as lead the technology team here at DrupalPartners. So first we'll start with the key differences on the difference between SEO and AEO. AEO basically stands for answer engine optimization, and the main goal, the major difference is for when it comes to SEO, we wanted ourselves to rank higher in the traditional search engines like Google, Bing, and we will be focusing more on the keywords, their density, their the overall engagement through the keywords. But here, it's more of a AEO is slightly different. It's completely different, I would say. It's more of a direct answers than more keyword specific. So so we have to focus on high quality direct answers. We'll talk about more like how we can achieve that in the coming presentations, but this is more of like long, high quality direct answers, right? So that is what is AEO is all about. And so technically, like earlier, we have been the audience, the targeted audience would be mostly only humans who are browsing your, specific content or specific keywords. That would they are the main targeted audience when it comes to the traditional SEO. But along here in AEO, it's not just the humans; it is also the AI agents and voice assistants, which are going to, fetch the answers from your website and put it on their tools. So we also need to optimize the website not just from the human perspective, it also through AI agents and voice assistants perspective. Okay. And it's like Shawn already talked about the different AI platforms, upcoming platforms. Like the formatting includes like instead of just putting content and blogs, we have to create more precise answers, like through FAQs, how to, why to, step-by-step answers, like tables and more schemas. So those are the type of content we have to enrich on our websites. Okay, and like from the snippet perspective, it is more going to be like smart snippets and AI assistants. And like the strategy wise, there are lots of things we will be discussing. Like instead of just optimizing the keywords, meta description, backlinks, we also need to focus upon the structured data of the website, the schema of the website, improving the FAQs, and also enabling more short answers. And semantic SEO is more important when it comes to AEO. And we also need to make the content in a more of a conversational tone rather than just answering from the to answer a question through a blog. We have to make it more of a conversational format. Okay.
Yeah.
And sorry, yeah. Okay. And like for example, like questions, ask a quick question and get an immediate direct answers. Or like so think of about you're talking to a voice assistant, like what's the best tennis racket for to buy this year, right? So this is a question, so it's not just about showing like five tennis rackets. It's about when someone asks a question, first we have to educate them, like how to choose a tennis racket, like what are the features and what kind of a player he is, like whether he's starting he's a beginner, he's a pro. And we so it's more of a conversational, and then just giving the recommendations according to that. It's not directly talking about the five the five tennis rackets for 2025. So those kind of contents may not work anymore, so we have to make it more conversational. Okay. So we'll talk about more in the upcoming slides. And now we are going to see how we can make it more your current Drupal websites more AEO friendly, or what are the optimization strategies will to make the website AEO friendly. So the first thing is Drupal is more of a content management it is most a system, so which most of us are aware of. So it has both advantages and disadvantages, because in Drupal you can create like different content types with customized content types, which would be more targeted for AI agents and humans specifically. And so right now we have to create more manual. See, right now, for example, if you take WordPress or Shopify, there has to be like more manual configuration needs to be done on the Drupal side compared to like SaaS platforms like Shopify, right? Or even like WordPress, right? So, but we can also make it more customizable in Drupal. Okay, so from the configuration perspective, it is little more, not like more manual effort. That's a disadvantage. But like from the customization perspective, it gives us an added advantage if you're a Drupal user. Okay, so we can use like advanced content modeling to structure content, and also like no need to build it on any AEO tools. Like, Drupal has, it's like already for SEO itself, Drupal has certain disadvantages. Like, we don't, there is no direct SEO tools. Similar to that, right now, there are no direct AEO tools. So we have to rely more on modules, like Path Auto and Meta Tag. So which we are still wanted to carry for Drupal websites. And like for especially for enterprise sites, we have to make sure the content is more conversational. So we have to audit the entire content for AEO perspective. Um, and that is going to take time for bigger enterprise sites which have like many large content or huge content on the websites, many contents on the website. We have to go through, organize them, and rebuild the content in a way that AEO agents and chat engines understand the content. So the first thing is about, again, like content. So when you're creating content, like the things that we recommend is like use more clear H2 and H3 tags, because as we have been talking here, it we have to clear like step by step guidance for these AI agents. So so break down the topics as much as possible for improving the scannability on the website, and like cover multiple variations of the user's question. Like, different user might ask the same question in different format. So we have to understand the nature, like, of the user, like your targeted audience and their personas, and based on that, what type of questions they might ask. So we have to create multiple variations of, users' questions and align with the content that we create. Okay. So like for example, like how to apply to study in US, like, or US study application, there are different ways a query might come in. So also our content should be able to answer all those questions in a conversational format. Okay. So using bulleted points, step by step instructions, and creating like quick, more high quality summaries will also help on the chat engine engagement on the for the AEO perspective. So this is a real example. Like for example, if someone is so this is a AI content, like Google, is pulling on the snippets on the featured snippets on the top. Like if someone is typing how to apply to study in the US, instead of directly showing like some universities, so or like it just gives more relevant research kind of a data. So like it has to check your qualification, the different programs available, and what's the checklist that you need to do before you apply for a college. So those kind of a content should be there on the websites. Okay. And as we talked about, semantic SEO is going to be more, we have to make it as a practice on our Drupal sites to follow the semantic SEO practice. So it is a practice of optimizing your content, no, basically not just the keyword. So the engine should also need to understand the meaning behind the keywords that you're using, not just the literal keywords. So instead of just focusing only on the exact match keywords, we have to create topics around it, like the intent, the relationship between the topics, the concepts and context. So everything we have to create around the keywords. So that will help you to rank better on these this AI engines. Okay. So like for example, like a quick example is like if someone is searching for a shoe, like a best running shoes, like then we have to give the guidelines for choosing the best running shoes, like how to pick a shoes of based on their running styles. They like depending upon their suit choices, and what are the top materials that are available, and top brands that are available, the lifespan. So comparisons of the different aspects, like flat feet with eye arc. So lots of different content around that. Not just one keyword. Create relationship around the content on context and create content according to that. Okay. So that's basically like the most important thing. We have to convert our content into more a semantic kind of an SEO process. Okay. I think the same example has been taken here, like the using terms like US student visa or USA eligibility criteria. Uh, so so if you see like the same example I talked about, the shoe example, like choose the running shoes, they have given it in a different format. Yeah. Okay. And the structured data becomes very key here. So we have to make the search engine understand the schema of the website. So how we can do that is like we have to improve the the post, make sure that you have like lots of FAQ sections depending upon the requirements, and how the AI would be making it make the FAQs more conversational. So like based on the first answer to the question, answer to the first question, so we have to assume like what are the possibilities the second questions the user might be asking. So we have to come up with those kind of strategies and create those FAQ sections and articles around it. Okay, so not just Google, we also make sure we have to implement the structured data for this AI agents also to understand, and we like the like the author, the fields, all these things are important from the SEO perspective, but more conversational is more important than focusing on certain keywords, and like authors or date published, those kind of things are slightly not important when it comes to AEO. Okay. And so you can also, this is just to stress, this is just not just for AEO. The structured schemas will also help you on your SEO rankings as well. So there is a Google rich results test page where you can put your URL and check how your structured schema is currently set for your Drupal sites. And so also we need to improve the authority signals, like using internal links to, as I said earlier, like we have to create content around creating relationships around multiple contents and context around that one particular keyword, and we have to make sure all those contents that we have created are linked internally, and which will show the AI agents the depth of quality of content that we have on the current website. Okay. And so it's more for research. Like when you create a content, we have to create in a way that it is more of a research content that we are putting into the website. Okay. And like we have to explain it with tips, more real-time examples, and also we have to follow the Google's experience, expertise, authoritative and trustworthiness follow principle. This is something which is already there from the SEO perspective, but we have to more focused on adding these kind of real-time examples and experts advice, those kind of things on the content to improve the authoritativeness of your content quality. And like the user experience definitely matters, like make sure this is more from the AEO as well as from the SEO perspective. AI chat engines agents are going to mostly focus on your, not on the user experience, it's mostly going to focus on the schema and structure and semantics, but this is more from the SEO perspective for humans to go to your website, make your website mobile friendliness with responsive layouts, and focus on the speed of the website, loading speed. And AI all agents also, if your website is loading slowly, AI or agents will also have an impact. So make sure your website performance is always good. Optimize the images, even the images, the alt text and those kind of content that you put onto the images, make sure that they're relevant to the content that you create. Okay. And these are all from the experience perspective. From the engagement perspective, we recommend creating more infographics, short paragraph and bulleted points for customers to understand, as well as for AI agents to quickly grab what this page is talking about. Okay. And share your content. Again, this is again like improving your backlinking, internal linking as well as your backlinking across multiple channels. So share your content with all the major social media platforms, and also to the in the social media platforms that are relevant to your industry, and in like industry forums, blogs and directories. Make sure that your backlinks are created on those websites. and encourage social proof through, try to get more social proofs through user comments, testimonials, and shares from other actual engaging customers for your content. Okay. So now, like, we also need to make sure the website is optimized for voice search. Okay. See, voice search is still evolving. Like, people use, Siri, Alexa. Like, there are lots of, voice search bots and engines available, but still, it is still evolving. It is not as, penetrated into the market like, ChatGPT or any other AI direct search query engines. But that is definitely going to be greater strength of this AH8, which is going to be more common, which, because even in ChatGPT, like, you, instead of typing in, you can put your questions through voice queries. That is being offered by all the major AI search engines. So we have to make sure the website content is addressing the common voice queries in a question and answer format. Okay, so try to make it more on a natural language and conversational tone throughout your content building strategy. Okay, target more long tail, as Shawn talked about earlier, and question words, keywords, like, you make sure you are answering the how to, what to, why, all the W questions. Try to answer and make sure your content is answering those questions. Okay. Okay. So so keep updating the content with new insights, FAQs, and so we'll also talk about how we can track the KPIs and what are the different tools that we can use down the line. But you can track it through the Google Search Console, and also there are other tools like Ahref, Semrush, Emozi. All these things are also right now offering AI tracking as well, AI agent tracking as well, and webmasters tools. And we also need to create some kind of manual custom monitoring test or tools like SERP robots, bright edge. There are lots of chatbot tracking tools are available, so which we can be able to use and monitor the websites as well. So excuse me, sorry. So now we'll talk about how to measure the AEO success. What are the KPIs to look for so say we are creating a website with all these content strategies that we are talking here, enhancing the semantics of the website around the keywords. So but how still we can measure it. So like obviously, like click through rate from rich results, like featured snippet presence. So like now, so basically we have to track the ownership of the featured snippet, like number of keywords or questions where your content appears on the snippet box on Google or any other search engines. Okay, and make sure the number of times your content shows up to for people also ask like similar questions. Okay, the number of times your content is showing up, and zero click impressions is another thing that we need to monitor, like impressions where users will find the answers but they will not click it. Right, so we also need to that is also measurable in Google Search Console, and we need to work on how to make it clickable from the conversions. Excuse me. So also, we can use tools like Perplexity, Bing Chat, or Google SGE, and we can mention the site source there. So we can go ahead and mention like to improve the brand authority for AI-driven results. We have to keep on mentioning the sources of the site is from our website. Okay. Um, so how do we collect those KPIs from our websites? I saw a question like from Sarah Solutions. How do we collect those KPIs from our websites? Yeah, that is what I'm trying to explain. Like we can use tools like Google Search Console, and we have to create like in Google Search Console, we have to create segment the SEO traffic with the AI traffic. We have to search results um, based on their appearances, like featured snippets. So we have to create those kind of custom monitoring on Google Search Console, like how many times your for a certain question from the customer, your website has ranked on the feature snippets. So that is something we can measure on Google Search Console. Okay. And in the tools like Ahref, SEMrush, and Moz are right now offering more, featured snippet wins. And also, like, people are also ask similar questions, kind of a category is there where we can make sure, like, for the question and answers, how we are getting more relevant and how our website content is being pulled on those into those search engines. Are you speaking of Google ad into the site? No, 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 not the Google ad into the site. This is more of like in those tools, there are ways we can segment the AI agent search. That is what I'm talking about. Okay. So that section name is called People Ask Search segment. So those are the things we'll talk about in the upcoming presentations on those things. Okay. And try to create answer-led queries. And we also need to monitor on like the number of the engagement, like the time they spend on a specific FAQs or informational pages on our website from the traffic that we are bringing into the website. And user engagement in more answer optimized pages like comments, shares. We have to improve the comments and shares for the websites that we create. Okay. Okay. So, and also like we can use engagement times, like for example, um, how long users stay on your page after arriving from an answer-based query. That is something can be tracked specifically. Okay, and based on that, as I said earlier, like we have to separate the conversation into how to, what is best way, those kind of question formats, and then we have to rank them accordingly, and then we have to also increase the details around the content. So all those, so like basically how the tracking is based on the engagement on the website, like how much time they are spending on each topic, how many like from one topic to another topic, like the relevant linking that you're doing on the website, how they are transferring to those pages. So we can start tracking them, all those things more effectively, and throughout this engagement we can improve our call to action from the conversion perspective as well. Okay. And tools like chat gpt, there is a process called deep research. So when chat gpt does a deep research, okay, so like it also goes and shows the sourcing website links in the answers that it provides. Okay, so we have to make sure to come into that sourcing link category. We have to create the content like all the, like the way we talked about here. We have to create a more not just a keyword specific, related content around the topic, so that when ChatGPT does a deep research on a certain topic, it sources our website and it also shows to the end user, these are the links that I have sourced this content for. Okay, and ChatGPT does this only during the deep research format. But like Google AI, which will put your content on the feature snippets if you're putting your content with the right keywords. So it will put your content in the feature snippet on the top of the search results. Okay, and also like engines like Perplexity and like Gemini, all those things, in most cases they will be giving you sourcing links. Okay, and there is also a way we can increase the sourcing links from your website to these chat engines. But it's not a straightforward path. We have to work on content and create this quality content around the keyword that we wanted to work upon. Okay. So with all these things that we are talking about, will show some case studies, but we could see that we have to more focused on feature snippet visibility. Okay. And so which will, and also we need to focus upon more on the voice generated, queries, like, answers to the voice generated, AI generated traffics. And so which we do, if we do this effectively, definitely we'll be able to rank our websites more on the chat result pages, like the AI engine chat result pages. But technically, it's not going to be a straightforward path. It's not like Google, putting your links and people click and come to your website directly. So that is not going to happen on the first iteration. So it might happen on the second or a third question the customer or the user is asking to these chat engines. Okay. So it's not just like from the first question your website will be sourced. So we have to make sure we create content in such a way, all these answers the chat engines are providing to the end user is all linked on your website, or so that even on the third question it will show the link for your website. Okay. So as the same shoe example I talked about earlier, when someone is searching for a running shoe, that the first thing is it is going to help understand them, like, how to pick it, pick a, select the best running shoe. It is going to ask about their styles, their the brands and everything. So those are going to be the three, four, five questions. And after the fifth question, it will show you these are the shoes that we recommend for you. Okay. So similar to that, the content can also be created in such a way. So we cannot expect that our website is going to be shown on the first answer itself, but what we have to do is we should not, if we just answer the fifth question answer, our website may not be pulled onto the chat engines. So we have to make sure we have answers for all the first five questions the customers have asked. Okay. So any questions there? So these are some real customer stories from, like, we have been doing the AIO optimization. We have started doing this for the last 6 months. At least for the last 4 months, we have been aggressively doing it, and we found it is very useful for mostly university websites as well as the like federal websites. And one of the university websites that we support, like we completely changed their content strategy. We implemented more structured programming, semantic SEOs. We increased the more FAQs on their website. We increased more like a step by step guidance for all the processes that they have. More long tail questions, so which we found it is not only improving the AI chat engine traffic. Overall, the SEO traffic, organic SEO traffic, is also improving from the Google perspective. Okay. And we also found their voice visibility on, we could see that they had a significant improvement on their visibility for voice and AI driven queries after we have taken over the project. And so it overall we have seen there is a 20% increase in their application submissions happened in the last 4 months. Okay. And the same thing for a media website, where it's more the same thing, like we did a similar structure, but since it is a media site, there was the content clusters were slightly different. So we what we started, we reviewed all their content, and we started creating clusters around a specific topic, like for example, if it is a under politics, if it is very specific type of issue, then we create the clusters around the topic. So when someone goes to that one particular topic, so all the related content is easily accessible and linked. So all the internal linkings we have taken care much effectively. So, and also we worked on their schema markup, so which, as we have seen, that increased the overall traffic from the AI engines as well as from the SEO perspective. Okay. And on one of the another use case from a federal project, which is city website. So we kind of targeted for how to guides more, like common questions the common people will have about things that they do on their website, applying for certain applications. So all those things we converted into like more of a how to question format, with a step by step instructions that has improved. We have seen, like, for many queries related to those areas. Now the all these chat engines are pulling sources from this website, and they're also giving links for applications to directly submit onto their pages. So that also has improved the SEO as well as AEO traffic. And it also, we found lots of application links were being directly sourced into the AI engines like ChatGPT. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the three success stories that we currently have on the Drupal side of things. And so, as I said, these are some Drupal tips again, like how to guides, FAQ pages, and blog pages with this more conversational needs to be created. And use core schemas for educational programs, or if you're doing having a government or federal website, create course catalogs. And also we have to make sure, if you're if you're running a e-commerce or any other businesses, make sure your about us and policy pages are more effectively delivered, and which are linked to Google business profile answers as well. So this is again like pretty much a quick checklist on what we discussed here. Okay, so so we can do a audit, or like a AU readiness audit on your website, and see like how we need to organize the content to make your websites more optimized for AU AE engines. So that is something like, whether you're currently following the content clusters or structured data, or you're following the semantic SEO. How older are your blogs, like with more like the content, the like how many FAQs do you have, like the content structure perspective, or the like how old is your content. So we can do a complete audit on any website and give you a AEO readiness report, which will tell the key action items that needs to be done around your content, as well as the structure of the website, to make your website fully AEO ready. And we'll also be able to set, like, trackings with Google Search Console, very specific to AI engines. Okay. Shawn, what did I take?
Yep, sorry. Okay, so some of the key takeaways, like we said kind of from the beginning that I touched upon, search is evolving and fast. Look at where it was 20 years ago versus today. So for those, you want to focus on the AEO components. They're going to bring different traffic to the web. So this is not a replacement for your SEO. This will work in tandem with your SEO efforts. So structure and context matter more than ever when it comes to AEO. So you're thinking beyond the keywords, you're thinking about how the data connects, how it all links together, and then the natural language behind it. How are people going to be searching, and how are you going to be grouping those answers together? The content must be severe, serve both humans and machines. So it's got to be understandable to both. Humans can ingest it, the machines can understand the structure of it, repeat it, break it down, and guide people searching to the correct answers. And one of the main key takeaways we can't stress enough is early AEO adoption. You're going to get a competitive advantage. Not many people are doing this yet or focusing on it. So you want to have your questions, your answers out there tagged, flagged, and in the system, because once they see, it's all about that trusted experience. So when you have those trusted answers and trusted questions, you're going to continue to appear more naturally in those AEO results. So our final thoughts, the future of search, it's AI driven. So you want to adapt now, dominate tomorrow, and you definitely do not want to drag your feet or get left behind with this. Okay, do we have any additional questions from the group?
It's good.
Yep. Okay, and as Karthik said, you can feel free to book a free AEO audit with us. We'd love to review your site and give you our feedback and our suggestions.
So we'll be sending the recording as well as the link to the free audit. So if you want, you can just click and register a free audit where you will be able to put the complete report and schedule a call with you separately.
Okay. And I believe you covered all this, Karthik, correct? Yeah, what was covered?
Yeah, it's
All
already
right,
covered. Yeah.
perfect.
Thanks everyone. Yeah.
All right, everyone, thanks for attending. Have a great day.